go ahead and start. Tristan, something I find fascinating about Pharazôn is that he is a character that is legacy looms large, and the legacy of the Numenor and everything. Like, how is it kind of like bringing that to the courtside intrigue with your character?
Yeah, it's a fascinating one because he lives in a world where there is a similar culture to him, but they live forever. So how that makes him feel, and everybody else on the island of Numenor, I think there is a kernel of envy there for sure. So I think, because they're burdened by their mortality, they never get to learn from their mistakes. Each generation, you have to lay down markers. And I think that's what, when you go and see all the masonry, all the statues, all the temples, everything that they build in Numenor, those are moral, I guess, markers for the next generation. And there's a huge responsibility that comes with that. And I think that weighs heavy on him, as with everybody within the Regency.
Of course. Morfydd, I mean, in talking about characters that are immortal, Galadriel has all the elegance of the elves, and yet that you bring a really determined grit. At this stage in her life, she is willing to leap before she looks, sometimes literally. How is it kind of like having those two layers to the character?
She is somewhat as far away from her elvishness as she could be in rejecting the gift of returning to Valinor. And so that was really interesting, and kind of we explored kind of when is she furthest away from that, and what does that mean? And we kind of like explored that at times her kind of hair would glow less, just from like, say, a visual thing, and at times physically she might be slightly different, and that was really interesting. And I just loved learning about the elves. Like, they're so funny. I love that they kind of like are so silly. They love to like sing and dance and stuff, but then also they can be so kind of catty and dramatic and messy with each other. And that's something that, as someone who was my knowledge of Tolkien was restricted to The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. So diving into the Silmarillion and just realizing kind of how much I had to explore was amazing.
It's a dense book. It's a dense text.
Well, I had to listen and read it at the same time. I'm so grateful to live in the time of audiobooks.
Yeah, thanks, Audible. So just to keep it within the Amazon family, Charlie, when we see Halbrand, like, there's a reason why he's pulling a water world. There's a reason why he's on the high seas. How is it kind of like having that subtext and that background that we don't necessarily see right away inform your performance?
It's nice. I like knowing and no one else knowing where he's come from. I think it makes it interesting. I mean, I'm in the same place as fans. I have been in that same place where I, as an actor, was desperate for spoilers and to learn things about the past and the future. But any information withheld is withheld for a good reason. But I guess he's at a crossroads. He's on the seas because he's at a crossroads in his life, where he's leaving behind a complicated past and seeking a new future. He's a human from the Southlands, which is a part of Middle Earth that has really suffered. And he's looking for a better life, I guess, a fresh start. And he comes across Galadriel.
Just as an aside, I mean, there is a lot of scenes early in the series where you guys are just in water or wet all the time. How is it bringing that level of physicality to your performance?
It was so much fun.
Yeah, because it kind of does the work for you, because you're dealing with everything that's in your immediate surroundings, trying not to fall off the raft, or you're having to hold your breath swimming underwater, and you just have to get what you're doing done as quickly as possible, otherwise you'll drown. Well, you probably wouldn't, quite severe. But
also it meant that like every take was different. You didn't know when a wave was going to hit you in the face, and so there was a real kind of spontaneity to and real reaction to that.
I think I got time for one more quick one. Tristan, how is it working with Leon as your on-screen son?
Incredible. I'm trying to create a legacy and he's burning it for me. He's wonderful. He's done New Zealand proud there. Yeah. I think they should be proud of their boy. He's a fantastic actor. He's got a wonderful generosity of spirit, and it's my privilege to be able to say I'm his dad in it.
And that is my time. Guys, thanks for taking the time sitting with me. The show is fantastic. You all do a good job. And it is available to stream on September 2nd on Prime Video. Thanks again, guys.
Thanks, man. Cheers.
Bye.